What you guys do today? First practice in summer league. What kind of, principles are you trying to instill?
Yeah, anytime I talk to J Kid, we always do about 80% of what we usually do our breakdowns of our defense. If it's, we call it channel one, no roll behind. We keep it real basic for the first day, working on our shell principles of nail, trapping the box, offensively keeping space. We call it open little dribble handoff. But overall, it's the details of how we run our defense, and offensively just spacing right now. So we went for about 2 hours, a little scrimmaging at the end, but right now it's to teach for the next 2 days, and then we can get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a little bit more up and down. But it's a lot of key standouts, a lot of bit more controlled than I did last year in the sense of let's learn a little bit more, let's play a little bit more freely. And I thought it was a good first day. Every coach says that no matter what, no injuries, so it's not doing that. But there was a lot of surprises that maybe last year necessarily we didn't have in the beginning.
For Omax, what are you challenging him to do in the summer?
That's a great question. I think for Omax, it's you have such a bigger role, but you want to keep it simple. Well, our job here and my job here so far is to show him improvement from year 1 to year 2 to hopefully make him a rotational player. And so by doing that I'm not going to say, hey, Omax, you can do whatever you want, but hey, listen, you're going to be guarding the best wings, so your defense defend without fouling, because that's what this team needs you to have. And we just started Marshall, different guys. Anytime you can have 6, 8 guys that can defend multiple, that's you. Offensively, let's make it simple. If you're open, catch and shoot, because 3-pointers with Luka and Kyrie. And if not, redrives. And the big thing about Summer League and not with Omax is when you redrive is your decision making. You have a lob threat, which we have Sharp here. We got someone 7'4" who can athletic as could be. And can you make the corner and wing pass when you drive when they pack the paint? And that's something that Omax has to be able to do at a consistent basis, which he hasn't shown yet.
Obviously, it's the first day. Anybody who stood out, who caught your eye today?
The rookie of Jenga. It's so funny with the Jenga. I watched a little bit of clips of him before. Smooth, 6'8". It's funny because my age is showing a little bit. I would play with his brother. His brother, when I think it was my second year, he was a rookie, but he's bigger and taller than you think he is. 6'8". He's taller than me. Can handle and decision make better. So I can see him doing a little point forward. The Jenga here, this one, he made the decisions out of the pick and roll. Miller has an NBA body already. I mean, he looked grown, like he could be a UFC fighter. He was, so his physicality is going to be crucial. And I can see him, and then Sharp, obviously, Sharp probably had 10 blocks today. He's protecting the paint, so expect him at that center position, holding us down here as much as we can.
Where do you see Jinga's upside? Where is that?
Where do you think upside? I can't say it's too early. It's a 6'8" lefty that can decision make. I'm not gonna say unique, but it's a high skill set to have in the NBA. The question is how long do you learn? How fast do you learn? How tough you are, and then your work ethic. That's something that we don't know, and that's what we find out here. He's smooth. He's cool. We had a drill guards versus the bigs, and he was finishing over everyone. So for him to have that, we'll see now if it translates down in the games.
Coach, what do you tell the guys about playing your best ball, showcasing your skills, but still relaxing and having fun? How do you balance that?
Yeah, the big thing I tell them is there'll be some 25-point scorers here in Summer League that will not play in the NBA next year. There'll be some guys that average 5 or 6 that will. Take the stats out. The stats, it's more of a dead era. Now it's overall, every team has 2 stars. Can you defend multiple positions? Can you stay in front? Can you, off driving kicks, can your decision making is at a high enough level? And what is your asset? Are you a shooter? Are you a grinder? You got a scrap guy, little things, and that's what they have to find. So that's what I try to tell them overall is, it's hard to listen to social media and your friends. They want you to average 20. That's not really it. We had 2 guys that get deals last year in our summer league that came off the bench. Braxton Keys played 3 games, had a game-winning dunk, and went to Denver. And so it's not about playing time. It's what you do in that playing time and to balance it and having fun. The fun should be winning. Don't go to Vegas and go out. Listen, you guys got to get jobs. It's important. Now it's a business. You got to support families and kids and that. And so for them is you can go back to Vegas.
Once you get to Vegas, what's the goal for this team?
The always goal is always to win. I don't care, what the squad is. Obviously last year we were more involved because we lost early. We had more time. We had vet camp, so the G League did the vet camp. So we're coming in a little bit later, but the goal should be to develop Omax to a rotational player, to find some hidden gems for the G League, and win as most games possible.
Is he over his injury, Omax?
Yes, he is over. He's healthy. He was out here urine and looking like Siakam out here today and, being aggressive, but he has calmed down a little bit. Still a ways away to go.
Jared, for a guy like AJ Lawson, what skill set are you trying to see kind of come to the forefront?
To be honest with you, it's not even really necessarily a skill set for AJ Lawson. It's, Kristen, how tough are you? AJ is someone who's kind of thin built. He's extremely athletic, not a great shooter, a streaky shooter. The question is can you guard NBA guards? Can we put you in to guard Tatum and Holiday? Those are the ones you're looking for to find a roster on this spot. Are you now going to take the step up? Or are you now in transition? Are you shooting wild shots? Or instead of shooting a wild, take your time, kick it back out? So not only with him, but with everyone, decision making, how tough you are, and then anytime you can hit a shot, especially when you're open, it adds to your value.
You mentioned not showing your age a little bit earlier. Have you seen the level of maturity evolve with the young guys over the years? You got guys like Jay Clark coming in with the foundation of giving back and everything. Have you seen that?
Yes and no, because they're coming in so young too. I will say this, last year, maybe because of the COVID years, you were seeing rookies 23 and 24. That was unique before. But then you see guys coming in 19, 20. I had Book. I've had different guys. Giannis. When I was with J. Kidd in Milwaukee, I had 3 guys that were 19. And so I noticed it with the music. Sometimes I don't know any of the words that they're playing here, what they got going on here. And it's funny because my oldest daughter is 14, so I said maybe in 2-3 years I catch back up. But what it is these kids, I will say this, especially in Summer League, no one works harder. They work harder than the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to go harder than that because they know, this is it. And for them, you can just respect that. And how much can I pour into them and help them to give them the best chance to succeed?
Yeah, this isn't your first time coaching the Summer League team. What does this experience do for you?
Oh, for one, it's humble and honoring for J. Kidd to be able to give me a responsibility. I asked for it. This is probably not my last year, but I'll pass it over next year. But I wanted to get the reps because, I'm an ex-player. I don't get the G League to be able to do 3 years as you see them hire these assistant coaches. So I come from my experience as a playing, vet camps, and now Summer League. So I get it with you guys of doing interviews. I get it with my practices. What am I doing different this year than last year? My substitution patterns. J. Kidd, can I try a 3-2 instead of a 2-3? Maybe you might want to implement it. So then you get to show your coaching creativity and more so. And J. Kidd, I give you suggestions. You pick what you want.
Jared, staying on coaching, obviously you had a bunch of people who were interested in bringing you in onto their coaching staff. What made you want to stay here in Dallas, and then kind of what have you learned from the coaching staff?
It's not the time. For one, I think for one, it's unfinished business. And then for two, you got to wait for the right opportunity. I'm not leaving Dallas. My family loves it here. It's hard, especially coming from LA and now Dallas. They're spoiled of good living. I'm not just going to up and leave any city, but it's got to be the right opportunity. And that right opportunity hasn't come yet for me to go. And I always tell people, I'm in no rush. It's not like I'm going anywhere for the money. I made a lot of money as a player. So my whole thing is I'd rather be a year or two behind and take the right job and stay here. I still learn under J. Kidd. People, I don't know if you forgot, he's a Hall of Famer. The mind's incredible what he does. Nico's my guy from Nike from back in the day. And then Sweeney, as you was almost coach for the Pistons, he's like a Tom Thibodeau Jr. I get to learn from that. So an extra year is only going to help me prepare to win those jobs by that time J. Kidd and them going to want me to leave. Yeah.
Jared, the season ended about 3 weeks ago. Looking back, how much fun was that? Because nobody expected to get there.
To be honest with you, I thought we were a little ahead of the curve. The goal is that, but overall, anytime you have Kyrie and Luka, championship is the ultimate goal. You look back on it being fun when you beat the Clippers and you beat OKC, but I can't tell you, we were so locked in as a staff and as then when we had it. We just played a Boston team at that time. It was a little bit better than us. You can see how their personnel was. You can see the steps that Luka now has to take to be able to get to it. Kyrie, unfinished business. Lively, so raw. Yeah. I expect huge things from Lively. That's the one piece that we have. Hey, how much better can he get? Luka, 10%. Kyrie is what he is at right now. It's Lively, the mold to be able to have it. PJ and Gafford, the training staff, and so I expect not only for us to try to compete for a championship, the goal is to win, but we'll be such a better team. I don't know how the wins and losses will be, but we'll be better prepared.
But you add Klay Thompson to the mix. He once scored 60 points on just 11 dribbles. So what does that add?
What Klay Thompson means, PJ Washington is going to be getting the most open threes in the NBA next year because you're not leaving Kai, you're not leaving Clay. Clay's gonna have to get used to more of a with Luka on the ISO situation, finding the spots. And as a staff, I don't want to speak for us, but overall, is when you have a new toy, you're gonna want to use it. We're gonna try. Our offense will look a little bit different than last year, but Clay's a Hall of Famer. It shows you this organization where we've come, where he's choosing, and if the reports are true, you never know, turning down money of a big market like LA to come here. Dallas hasn't gotten that in a very long time, and you see what Nico and that front office and Jay Kidd, this is now a players type organization that people want to go to. And to be honest with you, I've played for a lot of places. Man, Dallas is a top 5 NBA city. Right. Players love it here, and it's a little humid in the summertime, but they're never here.
Right.
Yeah.
Not as humid as Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah. A last fun one for you. You mentioned not knowing the music. Do you ever take the aux and put them onto some music from the classic?
That is a great question. So we sometimes I do a little West Coast Wednesdays, and I do that. But they know Pac, but they don't know a lot of these different other ones. But I might do that. I might bring that. It's a good suggestion. But overall, I try to hype them, get going. So if I put my music and they're not feeling it, then I'm trying to get them the energy to have a better practice.